So, thank you everyone, and welcome to Money Market Astro. So today we have Raj Chadha. So he's the one, where I learned my financial astrology. So he's my guru into financial astrology, and I took his course, and I can give you more detail about his website and how you can, get into touch with him. In the description below. So we can start with our today's agenda. So thank you, Raj, for joining my channel. And
so thank you, Hiten. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Come and talk to you.
Yeah, certainly. So today I will try to cover stock market, Bitcoin and gold for 2022. So first we can start with the intro. So if you want to, introduce yourself, Mr. Rajesh, how you, get into astrology, how you got interested into financial side.
Well, I'm basically a chemist. I have a PhD in chemistry, but in our family, everybody was always talking about astrology. My grandfather was an astrologer. He was a school teacher as well as astrologer. He wrote books, astrology books, and I started with him. And then, after he died, I kept on discussing things with my father. And then, with the family background and with my interest in mathematics and science, I could develop my own methods of financial astrology. And I think I've been working on this, doing research and seeing what methods work and which methods don't work. So this is how I how I became financial astrologer and how I started writing about the stock market in the United States. I came to the United States in 1970. I came to Canada first in 1979, then moved on to San Diego in 1988. Ever since I've been living here, I've been just studying, of my own way, the astrology and financial astrology. So now I think I have finalized my methods of analyzing the market, and I think I've been pretty successful in reading the markets and forecasting it. So that was the little background.
Great. So yeah, I mean, just to give you, even my background, how I started. So a couple of years ago, I was looking for the way to kind of like time the market. So I looked into a lot of technical learning, that chart based, and also I tried with some artificial intelligence also.
Is that right?
And I also looked into astrology. So I tried to look into that one. I looked at 3-4 related website, but they were not convincing enough for me. But once I visit your website, and I followed it for a while, I was really impressed, by the accuracy and timing of your methods. So, and that is where I got like a little more curious. So I I took your course. As you know, first I took astrology course, and then took the financial side course. Both of that. Yeah.
Whereas you have interest, you have enthusiasm, and you have the perseverance. You can do a lot of things. You can attain a lot of success. I'm sure you can do that.
Yeah, certainly.
I'm glad. I'm also glad to find a student like you, who is so much keen and interested in learning new things.
Certainly, thank you.
Okay.
And I learned from you, and I tried myself also, and I also got kind of a bit successful. I wouldn't say like 100%, because I'm still learning.
Nobody can be successful 100%. Even I do mistakes. Still do a lot of mistakes, but we all just progress like that.
Yeah, certainly. So astrology is kind of like very vast subject. There are a lot of parameters, a lot of things in there. But if we can, let's say, successful at least 70% time, then we can, certainly be successful. Yeah. So, and that is our goal.
Okay.
So yeah. So with that, I think today's agenda will be looking at market trend for 2022. How it will go for we can cover like stock market, Bitcoin, or gold, and see how this year will go, and we'll do some astrological analysis.
Sure.
So, do you want to start with the stock market, astrological analysis from your perspective?
Okay. So you want me to post the chart of United New York Stock Exchange, or just you want me to give my conclusions? What I have already have studied all the months of 2022, and I have drawn up conclusions myself. So you want me to go that way? I think that will be easy.
You can.
I have mentioned earlier that the month of January would be difficult, and I also mentioned on my Twitter handle that February could be easy, it will be good. It will be a slightly higher month, and similarly, I have done for 12 months, and I think the month of February, after having a good month of February, March could be bad month, and April a good month. This is roughly, and then again from May to July you may not have a good period. So there's a big gap here. May, June, July, the 3 months may not be a good period. Then August to September may be slightly good, but not very exciting. But the really good or the exciting period in 2022 would be the last quarter. That means between October and December, the last 3 months will be good. Overall, this year will be a positive year. Not a negative year at all, but in between there will be lots of ups and downs, as I've mentioned. So after bad January, you can have bad March and bad May, June, July. So a lot of months can be down, but in the end, the last quarter will make up for everything, and it will be a positive year. It is my main chart, and here I see, this is the main chart. Let me go to the solar chart, solar screen. This is the solar screen. So I basically use this monthly chart, and I have to change it to, let's say, this is May 17, 2021, and we have to go to January. This is December, and this is January. You see, this is what I have been just looking at for the time being. You see, the January 17, January 18 has been very, very bad days.
Yeah.
And I used here the Vinchotri period for the smaller periods. And so then looking at all my things, like I have 5 or 6 features which I look at it, because I don't base my conclusion only on one factor. I just look at all the things. And so this I concluded that this is going to be down month, down first half, and then second half going to be good. And that's why the February is coming, so far is coming good, and the whole rest of the February will also be good. And then I would go on to the next screen, March. So that will be February and March. Here also, some days will be bad, but ultimately month of February will be good because of the Jupiter is right in the center. You see, 7th house, and it can aspect the 3 houses. And the Mars is very strong here. It's exalted Mars, and it is close to Venus. Mars, in my view, is very important planet for explaining the stock market, US stock market. So therefore, this is why I think this is going to be a good month. So the same way I go on for all other months, and then I can, after studying all these 12 months, I think that the months May to July may not be a good period, but October to December, the last 3 months will be good of 2022.
Okay.
I also look at, pardon?
Yeah, go ahead.
I also look at the aspects, the Tajika aspects, which is basically the Western aspects. So there are too many triangles. That means this is a whole harmonious aspect, and too many square aspects means this is inharmonious aspects. So whenever there are more triangle here, the more harmonious aspects, I get a feeling, this is not just the only way, but I get a feeling that this may be a good month. And if there are too many of red signs or the square aspects, and then I get the feeling that this may not be a good month. But there's only one consideration. I look at all the things, especially I also look at the Maspati. Maspati means the Lord of the month. I look at the Mars, as I just mentioned. I also look at the second house and the Lord of the second house. So there are 4 or 5 things which I consider before making a final conclusion. So this is how I study the charts, the monthly solar return charts. And I think we may have to put it down somewhere that I think the months of May to July may not be good, but October to December may be good. You may have to post it somehow. Okay.
So you are looking at monthly charts and not the yearly chart.
No, yearly chart. I try to. It's very difficult to make your conclusion from yearly chart because the things change so fast these days. The planetary considerations, planetary alignments change, the aspects change, the strengths of the planets change so much. So a yearly chart is not very good for predicting the stock market. The people have been using it for other purposes, but for stock markets, I think the monthly solar return chart is better. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. So, so that is for stock market trend for 2022. So can we now look at the Bitcoin trend?
The Bitcoin, I basically do very similar thing. Now let me open the Bitcoin chart. This is the chart I use for Bitcoin. I have just studied the previous months or previous years, how Bitcoin has been, going up and down in the price. So then I have made 4 or 5. I have observed that there are 4 or 5 factors which contribute towards the net effect, the price of the Bitcoin. One of them is again Mars. If Mars is strong, we can have a good month. This is one factor. And the second factor again, let me go to the solar return chart. Okay, the second effect again is the Maspati, Varshpati, this call it Maspati. We will go to monthly chart, so then we will call it. Let's study February month. So this I look at the month Lord or the Maspati. This is Saturn here. So again, once again, I look at the Mars, I look at the Varshpati. I have also noticed that in this, for Bitcoin, the moon is very strong factor. So if the moon is strong, then the Bitcoin prices go up. In this chart, just an example, here you see moon is very weak. First of all, it is only 29 degrees. And it's sign Aquarius. Aquarius sign is not good for moon because it's the sign of its enemy, is Saturn. And here again, also this moon is very close to Saturn. So, and it's also close to sun. That means it's a new moon chart. So the moon is very weak in this chart. Mars is strong, moon is weak, and again Maspati, Saturn is strong. So combining all those things, and also look at these things, so many squares and very few triangles. So combining all these things, my conclusion about this month of Bitcoin, the month of February, will not be a very strong month. It will be, not very strong, very weak, like a neutral month, plus minus $2,000. So this is how we concluded about the Bitcoin for the month of February. Similarly, I have done the similar work for all months, 12 months of 2022, and it's my conclusion that this year is not going to be a very good year for Bitcoin. It's not going to be bad also. It's going to be slightly down year for the Bitcoin 2022, And if I just give you my summary of the months of this year, then I can say the month January to April, it will be either be slightly lower month or flat month. And then May and June are 2 months are going to be good. So if you want to work, if somebody wants to work on the monthly, you can do really obtain good results. So January to April, flat or slightly lower. May to June, good. Then July to September, again, either flat months or slightly lower months. But the last 3 months, October to December, will be good again. So it's going to be up and down, up and down. So whole year, in the end, there may not be any significant gain in this year, during this year. Okay. So that was my study of Bitcoin, monthly study of the Bitcoins based on this chart, which everybody else uses. I know people mostly study the transits, but I think one should look at the chart of the monthly charts with respect to the parent charts, and also do some kind of back testing, and then you can get better results rather than just using basic principles of astrology and interpret the charts. So we should back test it, see which factor contributes more and which factor does not contribute, which factor should be given more importance and which factor should not be given the equal importance. So all those things should be done and back tested, and then this is how I do it. So I
certainly.
have done all those back testings and before setting up my rules, and this is why it works better than many people. I don't claim that my methods have been perfect, but they definitely work better than many people because I have back tested them. I know which rule to apply when and which rule not to apply. So that was all about Bitcoin.
So I have seen a lot of other websites and videos also. People claiming last year that it will go like 100K, 300K.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, okay, it will go million. But certainly it's they just go with the trend at time, not really exactly analyze properly, and they end up being wrong. So as we already see,
when you don't do back testing and you just do your own rules or your own emotions, then you tend to go wrong and bring disrepute to astrology. I think it should be, astrology is such a vast subject, and there are so many rules. You can explain any chart, whether it's good or bad, to be a tremendously good chart or so unless you back test it, you see which rules you apply or when those rules should be applied is very important.
Yeah. So you are not seeing Bitcoin 100K at least this year?
No, not this year. This year I will be very happy if it's passes $50,000 years. My methods are again not quantitative, because I can see only the direction of the Bitcoin or stocks or stock market. I cannot say like it will go 10% higher or 20% higher or 10% lower. I cannot talk exactly in terms of concrete numbers, but I can only say that it will be slightly higher, slightly lower, very good, things like that. So
makes sense.
This is my limitation because it's only astrology. I don't use any other, if I have to use Fibonacci numbers and all those things, then probably I can do that. But I just try to focus myself on astrology only. But this itself is a very difficult subject,
Yeah, certainly.
So you don't want to don't get into too many subjects, too many things.
Yeah. So a lot of Bitcoin enthusiasts will be kind of like disappointed hearing you.
I'm sorry to say that, but
that's the reality, right?
But
we already saw in 21.
Yeah, I would like to say only something that I see myself,
Yeah. Perfect. So now let's go over gold and see how 2022 will go for the gold trend.
See, I've done the same thing for the gold also, and I use this chart. I will just bring the chart on the screen. This is the chart I use for gold, and as explained in my book, not in my book, in my course, that this is the chart. When the British bank, they started fixing the price of the gold after considering all the political and economic situations in the world. They used to meet every day and fix the price of the gold. So this, otherwise gold is there in the world ever since the world is there. So there is no way of using astrology with gold. But this was a time when somebody looked at everything that can affect the price of the gold and and that's the time I use for. And they will discuss and everything every day in the morning in England. This is the Rothschild was the name of the company. So this is the data I use, and this has given pretty good value for the direction of the stock market.
Okay.
And I also again use monthly solar return charts. And it's my conclusion about the gold is that the gold, although there has not been any significant price movement in the gold from August 22 to today, like August 2020, August 2020, the price of the gold was $1,967, $1,967. And now today, the price of the gold is 1,800, something like that. I should say 1,900. There has not been much change in the price of the gold, but I think that's going to change. The price of the gold is going to move higher slowly. Someday it will break this channel price movement, and it will go higher. And you will see not only 2022, but all this decade of 2020s gold will be higher. And my view that is from gold by the end of 2020, 2030. That means by the start or the end of this decade, the gold will hit to $3,000 very easily. So it is $1,800 now. I think everybody should have some gold in the portfolio, maybe 5% or 10% physical gold. I'm not talking about the gold stocks, but the physical stocks, gold should be there. And the price of gold will keep on going higher, 20s, 30s, and even 40s and so on and so forth.
So it is in the long-term uptrend.
It's a long-term hold. Just buy and hold. You won't be disappointed. It may not be as exciting as the Bitcoin or stocks.
Yes, certainly.
Everybody should have some gold, because things can go pretty wrong next year. So man should have some exposure to gold. And these days it's very easy to just buy on ETF, GLD.
Yeah.
They'll buy gold for you. Otherwise, it's very difficult to buy gold on the open market. You go to buy a dealer, go to buy gold from a dealer, they will charge you 8% or 10% commission when you buy, and 8% or 10% commission when you sell. So you won't make any money.
You will lose. Even gold is going high, you will lose.
You have to wait 10 years before you can just come even. This is so this is not a good idea to buy gold. So to buy GLD ETF is pretty good, and it will give you pretty good 5%, 10% every year, and you should have some kind of consistency or level of consistency.
It's better to diversify and have some safety net.
I would suggest everybody should have some gold exposure. I'm not a gold bug, but this is how the planners are telling me. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
So I think that's for different trends into 2022, as per my guru Raj Chadha. And and if people interested more to know about him, they can go to his website, stockastrologer.com, right?
Thank you.
I will put the link in the bottom description. So he has a lot more information over there, and he also has different services like learning the astrology, having the buy and sell signals. So
whatever I said today is based on I have written down in the form of a course, and you have taken it. Other people can take it also. It will give you a lot of good information, not only about astrology, but the stock market, and also how to use astrology for the stock market.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Raj. It was really nice having you on my channel.
Thank you very much.
And we can try to do some more frequently. If like next time maybe analyzing some recent IPO stocks.
Yeah, I have done. Like the last year there are so many IPOs came. I have studied about quite a few, and I have 2 or 3 in my mind, and which can do good in the long run. So sure, next meeting we will talk about that.
Yeah, certainly.
I will,
That will be exciting.
I'll learn more about how to put screens on the, how to share screen and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Thank
great.
you very much.
So thank you, Raj. Nice
Okay.
meeting you, and see you in the next meeting.
Okay.
And thank you everyone for watching this video.